Hey everyone, I'm Charlie Cameron of Millennial Money Management, and today we're going to spend 5 minutes on what minimum credit card payments actually cost. Rather go to bed supperless than rise in debt. You know who said this? Benjamin Franklin. Since the founding of the United States, Americans have fought against crippling debt. Credit card debt is part of that historically damaging debt for a lot of Americans. The 2015 American Household Credit Card Debt Study found that the average owed credit card debt per U.S. household is $15,762. There are actually a lot of great reasons to have a credit card, like improving your credit score or fraud protection, especially online or when you're traveling. The free stuff they give you in rewards just for using the card, and there's quite a few more good reasons. You just have to be smart about using credit cards. And part of being smart about credit cards is knowing what the minimum payment might actually be costing you. Example time. Let's say you just graduated from college and you're heading to your first real job. Because of moving expenses, things you needed for your new crib, and leftover expenses from senior year, your credit card has, to your amazement, racked up a bill of, let's say, $5,000. The average interest rate on credit cards runs right now about 15-16%. So let's say you got a 15% rate on yours. Usually the minimum payment on a credit card is about 4% of the balance. So in this case, with the balance of $5,000, you'll have to pay $200 a month as a minimum payment. So again, you're just starting your first job, doing, typewriter maintenance for hipsters or whatever. You have other things to pay for, so you continue to just pay off the minimum monthly payment of $200 for the time being. If all you did was this, and you didn't add any more expenses to that card, it would take you over 10 years to pay it off. And you didn't just pay $5,000. In reality, you paid the credit card company $2,200 in interest, almost half the original balance. Which really means you paid back $7,200 for the $5,000 you borrowed. And you didn't spend that $2,200 on any stuff at all. That could have been extra money in your pocket. Money you could have spent on other things like your extra special porcelain throne collection or whatever you're into. You could have put that money towards your future by bumping up your retirement investments or starting a mutual fund. Instead, the interest you paid and the interest paid by millions and millions of other Americans just went to some big business CEO's multi-million-dollar end-of-year bonus. And you better believe that he or she is going to invest that money. In that example, you didn't add any more expenses to that card. So that either means that you switched to a debit card to stop racking up that credit card, or more than likely you switch to a different credit card or you continue to use that credit card. So let's look at what increasing credit card debt amounts to and what it has the potential to amount to if you invested it instead. I'm just going to use myself as the example here. Let's say I racked up, we already talked about $5,000 or I racked up $10,000 or $20,000 in total credit card debt across any of the cards I own. We'll pretend here that they're all 15% interest rate. So we already did $5,000 as the example. I paid $2,200 in interest to big business, which could have been in my pocket. And if I had invested that instead, say in an aggressive mutual fund that made 7% average annual, in just 10 years that would have doubled. That would have been worth $4,400. Let's say I racked up $10,000. So now my minimum payment's double. It takes me 2 more years to pay it off than the $5,000. And I paid twice as much in interest, $4,400 in interest to that CEO's bonus. And instead, I could have invested it and made $9,000. Or let's say I doubled that and racked up $20,000 across 4 credit cards. Now I'm looking at 14 and a half years to pay it off, $9,000 in interest that I got nothing for, and I could have made $18,000 in an investment instead. And let's say I had a worse rate. Let's say I had a 19% rate on those cards, which isn't super uncommon. That would have taken me 2 more years to pay off for that $20,000. It would have cost me $4,000 more, and I could have made $26,000 off that interest that I paid instead. So you can see from these numbers that you end up paying around half the credit card balance back or more just in interest. This is bad news bears. Because of all this, you should make sure that paying off high interest debt is a priority of yours. It could be a tough cycle to get out of, but there's quite a few resources and tools out there for you to use, most of which are free. I'm going to post some more videos about these kind of things in the near future. But there are two basic rules for paying down high interest debt. The first is spend less than you make, and the second is pay down the highest interest debt first. I hope you liked this video today. If you did, subscribe to my channel below. You can also check out my blog, mcubed.info. You can find out more about paying down debt in my book, Millennial Money Management. It can be found in the Amazon bookstore or the links on my blog. And thanks for watching. That's a wrap.